Good evening once again. Welcome wherever you are, whether in the day, in the night, in the afternoon, in the morning. We want to welcome you to another presentation here in the Issues Room. We're broadcasting live from the city of Philadelphia, the United States of America. My name is Volcano Shelton. The Issues Room is an alternative media platform that brings you issues that matter, and we discuss these things because it's important, not just to Liberia, the African continent, and those in the Black diaspora around the world. Again, if you're just joining us, welcome. Today is Tuesday, and January 11th is the date. Time flying. Can you imagine? We're just here January 1st, the new year, and here we are going about 11 days in the year. But I tell you, honestly, today here in the city of Philadelphia, I tell you, it was really cold and it's still cold. In fact, according to the weather report, it was one of the coldest days in the last 3 years. And we haven't really even entered the winter yet. We just had our first snow the other day, and now looks like it looks like we're going to be going deep into winter coming up. And today was very, very cold. Let me welcome my man Moses Sandy. I'm not sure if you had the same experience today in the Delaware area, but man, I tell you, really, really cold. I couldn't even feel my hands.
Volcano, I did. My wife and I were riding together. When I walked through the building and to the vehicle, and I said, "Damn, it's extremely cold." She said, "Moses, I just can't believe it today." Yeah, so it has been really, really cold on this side of the Americas here in Delaware. But another week has elapsed, and again, I always look forward to coming to this room. I'm happy to be in this room here with you, my friend and brother, as we come to have another interesting discussion.
We want to welcome our viewers around the world. Join the Issues Room. Come in the chat room. Let us know you're here. The conversation tonight is important. It's about peace. It's about reconciliation. It's about art. It's about culture. It's about playwright. It's about everything. And who better do we have in studios tonight to be a part of this conversation? The rabbi himself, the
Yeah.
man by the name of Joseph Baba, but
Baba.
everyone know him as Joe Baba Senior. And
Yes.
actually, he's one of our premier and frontier when it comes to the theaters. And good evening, Dr. Baba. Welcome to the Issues Room for the first time. And we thought to bring you in because this is another important conversation that we can hold to bring to speed many of our young people who were born in the early uh, I would say late 80s into the early 90s who know nothing about the Dehkontee Artists Theatre and the Kukai Tono Peace Project and all of that. Welcome.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's a distinguished honor to be in your presence tonight. And also, I'm very happy to be connected with our people throughout the universe, all our supporters, our patrons, people who have stood by our side for the past 48 years. I just want to say a big thank you to all of you. Uh, Excuse me, you got me invigorated, and I have a lot of interesting news for you tonight as well. Things
Wow.
that I've been doing in the background that we are going to bring forth to you as the people. You see, we are a democratic republic, and I want to explain to you as citizens of the Republic of Liberia what it means to have a democratic republic. So there are two basic words there: democratic and republic. So I want to define them so that you understand them vividly, so that you know why you are in that country and what kind of country it is and what is expected of you as citizens of that country with respect to the constitution and the laws of the land. So democracy means that in Liberia, the decision of the majority prevails because it's a government that is of the people, for the people, by
All
the
right.
people.
All right.
I don't want to be political to say it should be a government that should be for the people, by the people, of the people, but that is left with you, the citizens, to decide that. But I want you to know that because you are in a democratic society, the decisions that are made in the country must always benefit the majority. Must always benefit the majority. If is it happening, those are things that we will examine. That's why I guess I'm in the issues room.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
thank you.
Let me bring the other. Let me bring the
Let's
other
get going.
guys in the house quick.
Yeah.
Let's bring in Meshach Sieh Elliott, and I believe Michelle, you all the way in Maryland County.
Yeah,
Wow.
Oh wow.
So you all the way out there in Hopper or Plebo or Kawiakin. Where are you tonight?
I'm in Harper.
Hopper, Maryland County. Beautiful place.
Okay.
Good to have you in the house. It
In
tells you that
fact,
Liberia is moving forward.
and Volcano or Harper is in the trending news. So
Okay. Yeah.
we are happy to have you, Elliot. Welcome.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I was about to go for
Albert,
Abbott, and he's kicked out again. He's in
Oh man.
Monrovia. I guess Hopper is taking the lead tonight. But
yeah.
welcome, man. Tell us a little bit about your role in the Dehkontee Artists Theatre.
Hmm.
Okay, thank you so much. I am the county director of Dehkontee Artists Theatre in Maryland.
Okay.
That's my role,
Uh,
and yeah, that's my
how did you
title
get
and my
involved?
role.
How did you get involved with the DATI?
Yeah, I got involved with DATI in 2019 when I received an email from Director Gbaba appointing me as county director to work along with one professor, Jerry Mangwe, to recruit university students who will be trained in peace education and later on will be peace ambassadors. So
Uh,
upon the receipt of the communication from the background that I come from, the young people background, I decided to agree, accept the challenge. And in 2019, I worked along with Professor Jerry Mamwe and were able to recruit university students, specifically students from William Stottenberg University.
Thank you.
We
Jerry Mangwe is a
recruited
name that rings a bell, and
up
I
to
know
100
Jerry.
students,
He's also come again.
and then those students,
He's freezing. That's why I
yeah,
thought he
we're
was
losing
done.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, Jerry Mangwe is a brother. In fact,
yeah,
he's a
and
musician
I
as well.
said I worked along with Professor Jerry Mangwe, and we were
Having connectivity
Yeah.
problem.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we find now with the explanation. I was just trying to give a little background about Jerry with the Aka Jam Band, and
so upon the
he's
recruitment,
still coming
those
back.
those names and
Yeah.
students.
We got you, Mr.
We
Elliot.
got
We
you. It's
got
all
you.
right. It's all right.
It's
It's
okay.
okay.
Can you
Yeah.
hear us?
Mhm.
Because you're freezing on your end, so it's okay.
Mhm.
So Moses, I know you want to kind of
Yeah.
drive the conversation,
Yeah,
so
so
let's start.
So I thought we are going to do the training first.
yeah,
No,
What do
let's
you
just
think?
let's just do the training in the midpoint since we
all right.
started. We gotta vary it.
Okay.
So we'll come to it at the intermission.
Okay. So Dr. Gbaba, Mr. Elliot, we want to welcome you guys to the issues room, the alternative social media platform. It's a pleasure to have you with us tonight.
Let me see if Abba is in queue. Abba, can you hear us? He's also frozen. All
Yes,
right.
Albert, can you hear us?
he's frozen.
Yeah, he's frozen. Yeah.
Yeah. Abbott, are you there? I see he's like
Yeah, I'm
come
hearing
through.
you.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
please respond when
I'm
I
hearing
ask you
you.
so we know that you're okay.
All right. Just quickly tell us a little bit about you and how you got involved with Dehkontee Artists Theatre.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, go ahead now. Tell
Hope,
them
hope
why you
you are hearing me.
I think he's having connectivity problem
Yeah,
too.
that's what happens when the
Mm.
connection
Okay,
is, dead ended on his
okay.
end.
Yeah, it's understandable.
All right,
It's
let's just Dr.
understandable.
Bagua coming.
Yes,
Go
I'm
ahead,
here.
Moses.
Yeah.
But yeah, but we're asking you questions and you're taking forever. So it means that your network is very poor. And so you're not receiving the signal from our
I'm here.
end.
I'm here. I'm hearing you.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's it. What they ask you, can you hear them?
The
They
question
ask
is
you a question.
the question
Tell
is
us
how
a
did
bit
you
about yourself.
I'm coming now. I'm coming,
Yeah,
Jerry.
I'm
The question
responding,
is
but
how hold on. The question is how did you get involved with Dehkontee Artists Theatre?
See.
So he's gone. All
Yeah,
right.
that's the
Baba.
problem.
So
Yeah.
Moses, let's go.
Yeah, so Dr. Baba, let's kick this discussion of first the Dehkontee Artists Theatre, right?
Right.
Help us learn a bit about this organization. How long have you been around? What the organization seeks to accomplish, and who are some of the people behind the theater?
Great. As my introductory remark to you was about Liberia being a democratic republic,
Mm-hmm.
and I defined democracy that the people, the decision should come from the people, and the majority should make that decision. Then, because it's a republic, it means that you have a system of government that has three equal but separate branches. They're all supposed to be equal. But unfortunately, they're not equal right now as we speak in Liberia. But as you can see in the United States, there's a check and balance. So those things are very important. Now, when it comes to Dehkontee Theatre, the reason why I'm explaining that is because if I'm the custodian of Liberian history and culture, then I must be able to educate the people on what our society is supposed to be. They need to know the definition. Okay, so Dehkontee Artists Theatre was established 45 years ago at the University of Liberia. But prior to the establishment of Dehkontee Artists Theatre, I received my calling 48 years ago when I was in senior class, at Carroll High. We're talking about Jerry Mambe and all of that. Jerry is also a graduate of Carroll High, and I taught Jerry at Cottington. So that's the relationship that we have. So when I told him about the excuse me, the establishment of the peace program in Liberia, he was very, very receptive. And through that, we're able to get connected with the students at Tubman University to get started. But that's just recent. So talking about the founding of Dehkontee Artists Theatre, it occurred at a time in Liberian history when there was a lot of intellectualism, sprouting in Liberia. And that's during the Tolbert administration. After a very prolonged presidential tenure of William V.S. Tubman, the 18th president of the Republic of Liberia, he was a despotic leader. He was a despotic leader in respect to the way how he ruled the people, a benevolent, despotic leader. So he also gave them little money and all that kind of thing, but it was so say one, so say all. And his vice president has served under him for 19 years. So he observed the system. He saw all the usage and asset going on and all of that he didn't like. And he brought some people to their senses. When he got there, they thought they could do the same choo 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 and all of that. And this when Topper would say, "Oh, you said so about Sandy." He said, "Yes." Okay, sit down there. I'm coming. You're sent for Sandy, please. And Sandy comes and Topper says, "Okay, now, how about tell me what you said about Sandy?" You know, one of the beats I then dropped there one time, and okay, that's part of the thing. But when Tolbert also was educated, he had college degree, he was a Baptist preacher, he was eloquent and outgoing. Okay, and he liked the liberation struggle. He was supportive of the liberation struggle that was going on in Southern Africa, Namibia, Zimbabwe, and all those places. So it was during that time. Then we had the young intellectuals that came back from the States from studies. Emma Sawyer, Tipote, Marcus Matthew, Drew Mason, Oscar Kuyalem, what the other boy named, just forgot his name now. All these guys were very, very progressive. Let's put it that way, progressive. Okay, and in that process, it kind of stimulated the Liberian public. And Tolbert was also a patron of the arts, and he wanted to Africanize, Liberianize the Liberian system. There are always temptations. As a leader in a country, you'll be faced with so many temptations and all of that. But on the bottom line, he had a lot of bright ideas, and he had the power. He was very, energetic. He had the power to make things happen, and he was respected all over the world. So that kind of presidency put us up there. It put us up there. When Tolbert was president of the Republic of Liberia, he was also president of the World Baptist Alliance.
Okay.
At the time when he was killed, he was also the chairman of the Organization of African Unity.
Okay.
Because we are just at OAU, or what's that, 79.
Okay.
Yes.
So Dr. Gbaba, quickly, we're
yeah.
trying to do this in 1 hour, 30 minutes time. Can you just give us a summarized purpose behind the formation of the Dehkontee Artists Theatre? Why did you decide to come? Just in summary for us.
Okay, fine. Now that summary, I just give you the first part of it, which is a society. So in a society like that, where the people are sophisticated, they're thinking and they're arguing about the democracy and this and that, as it was doing in the 70s, 1977, I was inspired. Because the 74 was the time when I got my vision and I wrote the first play and put all the play in Yekepa. Then when I came to LU and these things were going on at LU, then I got my colleagues together and we established Dehkontee Artists Theatre. The purpose was to promote the performing and visual arts and literacy. Okay, through drama, through music, through dance, through theater, things that will elevate the minds of the people. So that's how Dehkontee Artists Theatre was established 45 years ago. And one of the reasons why it was like that, at that time, when as I said, and I look at this also, at that time, the leadership of the country promoted culture. The president of the Republic of Liberia, William R. Tolbert Jr., was a patron of the arts. Whenever he traveled, he would carry the university chorus, or he carry cultural university chorus, he would carry cultural ambassadors. He would do, he promoted the culture of the country. So when he launched the Fundraiser for the liberation of Southern Africa, what he named, the woman was in prison.
Mandela.
So I decided to write the play that will reflect what apartheid was, because we didn't know what apartheid was. So I decided to do that, but I had to do research, talk with South Africans and all of that, and put my stuff to talk with Makiba and Hugh Masekela and all these people, because they were here seeking asylum, you see. So based upon that, I wrote The Chains of Apartheid. And the president heard about it. He said, my goodness, this is something very good. Now, that's something that I want the present day leadership to listen to it. This is the president of the Republic of Liberia. He sees a university student who is talented, putting people together and displaying the culture and history of Liberia. Immediately, I got a green letter from the executive mansion inviting Dehkontee Artists Theatre to the executive mansion to
Okay.
perform for the
Good.
president.
Mhm.
And I sat at the right hand of the president with the speaker, Richard Henrys and James A. Pierre and Salsa Dennis and these people, all these people around here. And the president gets up in the presence of the distinguished guest, the first lady, and all of that, and said, Mr. Gbaba, I salute you for your ingenuity. A president who values the qualities of the citizens, and we're not going to stop there, but is determined to promote his own. You see,
Thank you.
so that's how it started in summary.
So
Okay,
what that does for me, as you explained this, and it's good that you set the tune. It now brings me into the fact that the president was concerned about arts during that time. Apart from that, what are some of the other things that you have seen in present day Liberia you think that needs to be touched on in terms of bringing our society back to become democratic, as you said, to be a
yes,
republic that is respected? What are
yeah.
some of those things right now that the Dehkontee Artists Theatre can begin to preach, display it through the performing arts that needed to be addressed because our country is in serious problem today?
Okay, well, thank you for that question, and my answer to all of you is that the Lord has laid it on my heart to do the little that I can do for my people, and that through His grace, that the message that we will present will be received by majority of the people, say it's a democratic country, so that we can move forward. And that message is about peace and reconciliation. That message is about the promotion of our cultural heritage, who we are, who we are. And I can give you an example. While I'm here, I can say, Nyonya Ezwedru, Agrugo, Agramo ye Alpeyo, Yemo one Garode, Joe Baba, Tomu Gade, Yemo Wuo, Yebruba Mana, Ego didn't down, Munye Mana Abla Duabo, Ya Clever Ya to do you, Yepo Yepao. So now you can see that we talk about culture.
How do you explain that for people who listening to you who don't speak Crown? How do you explain that for them?
What I said was that, ladies and gentlemen, my dear people, wherever you are, may the blessings of our forefathers be with you. I'm here tonight on this program to talk about issues concerning our country. So I want you to please listen attentively. But I spoke the vernacular to let everyone know that, irrespective of the fact that I am Dr. Gbaba, that Dr. Gbaba is from Zwedru, that Dr. Gbaba is a Liberian, that Dr. Gbaba's ancestors and parents are Crown people. You see what I'm talking about? And that I can proudly speak my native tongue, my mother's tongue. That's very important. And that's one of the things that we want to do in our literacy program. Because here we are. I'm speaking to you. It is good to speak in a universal language. But I'm Liberian. And as I continue to speak the English, I'm losing my ability to speak my own language. And when my language disappears, then who am I? Then who am I? So that notion that, because you are educated, so you're not supposed to speak your language, this and that. No, you're not educated. An educated person will be educated about himself first before he begins to learn about other people. Who are you? Who am I? I need to know who I am first before I get to know who you are and all of that. Why must I keep going and trying to be like you when I'm a human being like yourself? So
All right,
those are
Doc.
the things that we're going to be presenting, in our programs and all of that. But not only that, but I'm willing, because for the past 48 years, spent millions of dollars promoting the history and culture of Liberia. But I'm willing to kick the ball rolling, to begin a cultural festival in Liberia. Hopefully, if everything goes well, we will be doing that in April. So we're preparing for that. We're preparing for that. The reason why we're preparing for that is because, in the first instance, if we want peace and reconciliation in Liberia, if we want peace and reconciliation in Liberia, we must be at peace. We must appease the spirits of our forefathers whom we have offended all these decades, over 40 years. This is no play stuff. So you were asking me, what is it that we need to do in Liberia so that Liberia can be a better place? The first thing we need to understand is who we are. We will find out that we're all related, we're all one people. Kukatono, the parliament says. The Gbaba people say our play that we have that we're going to be presenting during the festival is called Banodedo. Can you explain to them, please, Meshach, what it means in Gbaba?
Yeah, but Nundedo means let us be one.
Okay.
And,
Yes.
and I
So
was coming in. I was coming in to ask about the role of the chapters. You talked about the Maryland chapter, the DuPont chapter. I know that what's his name? Abba is still struggling to stay in. But thank goodness for
Elliot.
Michelle. Let's give him an opportunity to come in now since he's been patient. Just tell us, Mishak, what is happening right now with the Maryland chapter, and how are you preparing for what Dr. Gbaba is talking about here comes April, that you guys will be showcasing the Dehkontee Artists Theatre.
Okay, so what is happening in Maryland now is beginning Thursday, the after tomorrow, we are going to some high schools in Harper. All of the high schools in Harper, we're going to start with three high schools on Thursday to engage the school's administration regarding the establishment of a peace and cultural theater in their school. The next
Can you
thing
can you
is
call
that
those high schools names? It's important so some
uh,
of the students can start gearing up in anticipation.
Our Lady of Fatima High School will be visited on Thursday. Kipamos High School will be visited on Thursday, and J.S. Pratt United Methodist High School will be visited on Thursday. And then on Friday, John Hillary Totman High School will be visited, and the administration will be talked to. Jara Solid Foundation High School administration will be talked to, and Christ the King High School. These are the six high schools we intend to begin with the DATI, Peace, and Cultural Theatre establishment. And so, as it relates to what that talked about regarding the Rabba Gbaba Peace and Cultural Festival, which is scheduled for the 15th to the 17th of April of this year, we have appointed Alfred Nungba as chair on the program and planning committee. He will be the one who will be spearheading our activities. And by this Saturday, we will be appointing all of committee members. So while the program will be like, the program is a 3-day program. It begins with a sports, that is a 1-day Olympic among six high schools in Harper, Maryland County. Those six high schools that are previously named, they will go into a day Olympic. And that Olympic will be held at the Mantle Totman Sports Stadium here in Harper, Maryland County. But before that, we will be rating few personalities like the county authority, the the university, other NGOs here, and some companies, the business community, the religious community, and our traditional people will be rating. We intend to bring two persons from each of our traditional towns our elders to come and be a part of the program. So Friday will be the Olympic from the morning hour to 6 o'clock p.m. And then in the evening hours by 8 o'clock be our African cultural show. And during the show, we intend to showcase our African talent. We intend not to have much European songs sung to be sung that day, but will actually be focusing on our African songs. So we will have people performing in their different culture during the show. So we then on Saturday we will have a parade. We'll be parading through the principal street of Apple. The various schools, the various high schools will be part of the parade. But we decided to do it different way. Every time when parade is going on, students are in their uniform. But this time around, since this is a cultural festival, we decide for students not to wear uniform, but rather to be attire in their Liberian culture at they call dress code. So we will parade through the principal streets of Harper because we want to claim the attention of people that our culture is important. So that's why we intend for our students not to wear the uniform. All of us will look almost the same. So after the parade,
is there any monetary value added to this, or say for instance, tickets to be purchased for the show and all of that? Is there
Thank you for
income
asking
generated?
that question. Let me just step in because it's also a fundraiser. It's a
Okay.
fundraiser because we managed to obtain some office space in the Harper Museum, and and we have like 4 chambers there, and so we've been trying to raise funds so that we can clean the place up because of the 4 chambers. One of them is a computer room, the other one is the conference room, then we have the secretariat, and then the administrative area of the place. So fortunately, I've been sending our word out there to people, sponsors, Liberians, foreigners, everybody, asking for financial assistance so that we can, fix the local office in Harper so that we may, begin to offer services. Now, the services that we're going to be offering at our peace and cultural centers include seminars, uh, uh, literacy programs, computer training, theater, dance, music, and also teaching courses in Liberian history and culture. And there may be some, if there's some time, that we have some tutorial, sessions for students in the city, who may have homework or something, need some kind of after school assistance, that we may be able to provide that kind of service. Because fortunately, everyone who is part of the Dehkontee Artists Theatre Peace Program, they are all either college graduates or they're in college. Okay,
Yeah.
Meshach graduated from Tubman University in public health, but he's an excellent youth leader, and so all of the youth that are in Dehkontee Artists Theatre, even the ones in Morovia, they're all from different universities there, and some are graduates as well. So they are in a better position, hopefully, when we're able to travel around the country, that they may be able to run seminars, community engagement programs, and all those kinds of things. So
All right.
basically, yeah.
So
So the fundraising part is very important. We're hoping that we'll have tickets, for people to pay so that we can be able to fix our office. But one last thing also to encourage donors is that a citizen from Maryland County, Abram Cooper, recently did something very significant. He made a generous donation and requested that we name our conference center in honor of his late grandmother, Mrs. Janet Cooper. So we're going to be doing the conference center. When we fix it, it's going to be formally open and called the Janet Cooper Conference Center. And she was a teacher. She was a renowned teacher in the Harper area and all of that. So this is one way that we can preserve our culture. If you know you got a loved one that you want for us to memorialize in any of our programs and things, it's good to make a donation towards it so that that person's memory can go on forever. When we do the conference room, or Mrs. Cooper's photo will be hung in the conference room with a plaque explaining who she is and who the donor was that fixed the room for people to come from all walks of life to go there to learn about Liberian history and culture. So that's also another way to support us as well.
I want to
So
bring in quickly. I want to bring in Moses
okay.
before you come to
Mhm.
him.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not sure if Albert is in queue and can hear me. Albert, can you hear me? Because I see that you're making all the effort, and we really want you to be a part of the conversation, but you keep freezing. So if you can hear me quickly, let me just ask you this question, the same question we asked Meshach. What is it the Dubois or the Montserrat County chapter of DATI is currently doing? I think
I don't think he's getting you.
He has network problem.
Yeah.
go ahead, Moses.
Yeah, Dr. Gbaba, let me follow up on a very salient question that my friend and brother Volcano asked you.
Mm-hmm.
Given where Liberia came from, since 1989 up to now is 32 years. We went through 14 years of civil war in our country. And
Mm-hmm.
Volcano asked you about uh, what is the theater, the Dehkontee Artists Theatre doing to help our people reunify? We have a divided country. We are divided along tribal lines. We are divided politically. What is your organization doing as an institution of art, performing art? What are you doing to really, sell the message of peace and reconciliation to our people? And if you are doing anything, how vivacious is your organization in Liberia? Help us understand that.
And just before you ask the question, I think
Mhm.
the premise for this question goes back to your statement when you engage in the apartheid movement, doing
Exactly.
art to preach that message here
Mm-hmm.
in like there in
Y-
Liberia at the
y-
time.
Yeah,
The Hugh Masekela and the Maria Makiba and the Nelson Mandelas were taking what you would consider political asylum,
Mm-hmm.
and your performing art brought to the limelight what was
Yes.
trending in South Africa. How
Mm-hmm.
can you
do that
what
in
we consider
Liberia.
reenact the same
Yeah, that in
experience in
Liberia.
Liberia
Yeah.
now?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. There are two things. Moses, you asked. You say, what can you do? What are you doing?
Yeah.
In Liberia, what's the organization doing? But we had already told you from the man in Beredru, for the Beredru chapter, what they are doing. Okay, that's a process. Then the other one that you're talking about, say, how can I reenact, or how can I create a situation where we can be vibrant again and we can be very forceful and effective in transmitting the message of peace and reconciliation, through the performing and visual arts. That's the question you asked.
Yeah.
That's why, preliminarily, that's why I said I gave the premise about the leadership of the society. You want a change in the society, okay? They say a fish begins to rot from the head, not the tail. All right. So if the leadership of the country, the structure of the country has rotted, it has rotted. So it needs to be restructured. That's that. So the basic theme and a concept that we should be developing right now is reconstruction. We got to reconstruct our system, our political system. Dehkontee Artists Theatre was vibrant those days and effective those days because what did I tell you? The president of the Republic of Liberia recognized my weak little efforts that I was making as student at the University of Liberia, running his own little theater group. He didn't just do it corner corner. He invited us to the executive mansion theater. And he invited diplomats and different people to come and see his precious jewels. His concept about the Liberian youth was that we were his precious jewels. He saw greatness in us, and he promoted the greatness. So the president invited me, and I'm sitting at his right hand at the executive mansion, and we're performing, and he gave us a purse after we perform. It's all on ERTV, ERBC. That the next day when I go to class, my professor then says scared to talk to me and all of that. That's one of the atmosphere that must be created in it for any organization, cultural organization in Liberia to even be able to give that kind of force.
Any engagement with this current government?
No, there's no engagement with this current government.
Why?
There's
How
no
do you go
engagement
forward?
whatsoever.
So then
And
how do you go
it's
forward?
pardon me, how do I go forward?
Yeah.
Because
I
we're
mean,
working through the people.
no. So also, Dr. Gbaba, if I can just piggyback on the question that Volcano asked you.
Yes.
You say there's no engagement with the government, right?
No,
That
no,
was your response, right?
there's no engagement in terms of like a project going on or somebody calling me for the Ministry of Culture and Tourism,
But
to say Dr. Baba,
mhm.
would like to do this and that and all of that. No, there's no engagement.
And
But
so that
Dr.
means
Gbagba,
Moses, that means
yeah, go
Dr.
ahead.
Baba was left out of this whole bicentennial. When
No,
this
but
What
man
what's that?
had,
You say what happened now?
I said that means you were left out of the whole planning of the bicentennial. When you
What's that?
had
What you people bicentennial? What's that? What is that
the
supposed to
so
be?
the return of emancipated slaves to Liberia, our founding fathers 200 years ago. That's why he's making reference to.
What is my name?
You're Gbagba, you're native
Okay, so did
Liberian,
I
and
return?
no,
but we're
Liberia is
talking about
currently
Yeah,
you
so
being
maybe that's why
involved.
they didn't tell me because I didn't return.
No,
no,
what we're
but
saying here,
No,
in the
no, no.
planning,
I'm saying what you're saying too. You said, oh, but maybe Dr. Baba was left out of the bicentennial stuff. So it's strange to me because I know nothing
but
about
in the
bicentennial
display
thing.
in the
And
display
your
of our history.
definition of bicentennial says that it's people that returning to go to some place. So I asked you, I said, what is my name?
But what I'm saying is in the process of planning and presenting our
this
history,
event, yeah,
presenting our culture,
Mm-hmm.
presenting what was there before this
Yes.
pre-slaves went there, it will be important because that's part of the
and
history.
you participate. That's what
Yeah,
he's
but
saying.
that's what I'm saying. So they didn't tell me about it. So that's what I'm telling you. So you got my
Uh, uh,
answer, right?
yeah, but the point what that I'm making here is that it would have helped, because uh and a program of this
Unfortunately,
magnitude. I'm
volcano.
coming. I'm coming.
Unfortunately,
I'm
that
coming, Doc.
isn't something that I can
Doc,
participate in
Doc, I'm
because
coming.
it's not
Doc,
of my interest right now.
Doc, I'm coming.
Yeah.
This kind of program has the kind of magnitude that must bring the right people to make
Mm-hmm.
it successful. And
Right.
Dr. Joe Baba, 45 years of playwright, culture,
48.
48,
Mm-hmm.
culture, the art, in visual, in dances, in everything, is an
Right.
important component as part of, because there were performing arts
Bicentennial.
during
Yeah,
the
the
program at the
bicentennial. Yeah.
Providence
Mhm.
Island.
Yeah.
There were a
Well,
lot of
I'm
other
glad.
displays.
I'm glad that you realize that, but maybe the other people don't realize it. Okay. I gave you a typical example. The Minister of Information, Cultural Affairs, and Tourism is like a son to me.
Okay.
Okay. This is someone during the wartime. He was my public relations officer for Dehkontee Artists Theatre. I used to pay him good money, more than what charities were paying him.
Okay.
He becomes Minister of Information Cultural Affairs and cannot even pick up the phone to say, "Oh, Uncle Joe, how you doing? This and that, blah blah blah." And this is the person that's going to be planning what you say bicentennial or something like that.
Yeah, I'm
Hmm.
sure he was part
Without
of the planning.
without looking
He's
back,
the chairman. He's the chairman of
yeah,
the
and without looking back
bicentennial.
at the executive director of Dehkontee Artists Theatre that employ him.
But Dr. Bagwa, this thing here goes both way. Volcano asks you, have you
Mm-hmm.
reached out to the government?
Yes,
And
I
you
did.
said
That's what I'm trying to. That's what it's good that
did
you asked that
did
question. Yes, I
yeah,
did.
did you reach out?
There is. Listen, now check this out.
Hmm.
There is a letter, email that I sent to Ledger who ran it,
Okay.
telling him that we got Dehkontee Artists Theatre has. I'm trying to establish a peace and cultural center here
Yeah.
in Monrovia and in Harper.
Okay.
He got connection with Harper too. Okay, so I sent him the email and I said, what I would like for you to kindly, support us and come to the formal opening so that we know we can start this thing.
Okay.
He has not responded to me at all. He even bothered to call me back.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, so
let's
I'm
go
glad
there.
that you asked that question, but
Let's go.
it's fair for me to say it so that everybody will know.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
let's go to the intermission, Moses, and then do trending issues, and then we'll
Sure.
come back to Dr. Baba so he can calm down a little bit.
So,
All right, all
Dr.
right.
Baba.
Good evening,
No,
ladies
no,
and
I just
gentlemen,
like to
wherever you
present
are.
the truth.
Yeah.
You see?
We want to welcome all of you to the issues room. The issues room is where we take the temperature high and then we bring it low. And Dr. Baba is here this evening. He is one of Liberia's full foremost playwright. Um, the guy is just phenomenal when it comes to the
Yeah.
art and culture
Yeah.
of our history, of our
Mm-hmm.
country rather, and in the history of our country. Uh, we were hoping that he would be a part of the bicentennial. That's why we asked the question. I ticked him off, but hopefully we'll come back to him when he's a little bit
Yeah.
back to his
Yeah.
temperature. But Moses, the trending issues in the news from your end, and but before you go to that, we want to encourage folks. We'll be bringing folks on the line at 8 o'clock. We'll open the lines so that you folks who remember Liberia in its heyday when it comes to our culture. And one of the questions I'm going to come back with, Dr. Baba, I know you might get mad at me, but I will bring that question. Has to
No,
do
I
with the
won't get
selling.
mad. I'm not here to
Yeah,
get
I'm
mad.
just saying when I say get
I'm
mad,
He's
here
maybe
just
for us to
kidding.
maybe
discuss.
you'll
Volcano,
follow me.
Volcano is just pulling your leg there.
But I'll
No,
leave
but
that question on the table. We'll come
he
back
knows
to
I'm
it.
cool.
But we want to encourage all you, our viewers and listeners all over the
Yeah.
world, become a part
Yeah.
of the Issues Room. Please share the word, encourage others to join us. This is where we don't discuss any level of favoritism. Everything we talk about here is about our country, the hope for our country to restore itself to its wonderful days, and that's why we work together, Moses and I, and our folks behind the scenes. We have some of our strong fan base. Supporters here like Thomas Awaji, who is now in the issues room, Uzondo Isionyi, and I see Delaba Reed Yedu, a good friend from childhood days, growing up back in Painesville here for the first time. I'd like to welcome you. Thank you so much for coming. Share the word, Dedet. We also welcome John Yamin Jr., who is also in the issues room tonight. We say thank you. There's a brother watching all the way from South Korea,
Oh
Elijah
wow.
Conway. We say, welcome to the Issues Room. Spread the word out there. I didn't know Liberians were in South Korea, but it's good to have you in the house tonight. Again, as
Yeah.
I said, Thomas Awaji, thanks so much for all you do for the Issues Room. Moses, what do you have on your end? And there is a Mac Chilla for the first time. Good evening, welcome. What do you have on your end there when it comes to training? And
In
Washington
terms,
Boca is also in the house.
yeah, in terms of the trending news, Liberia's Vice President Jewel Howard Taylor has described members of the country's national legislature as gatekeepers of the Liberian democratic system of governance. The vice president said the legislature keep the system, has the responsibility of keeping the system running through checks and balances. She spoke yesterday at the first day sitting of the fifth section of the 54th legislature at the Capitol building in Monrovia. Media reports from Harper, Maryland County, and Liberia, West Africa says there are no functional prison facilities in the county. As a result, the efficacy of law enforcement in the county has been hindered. In the wake of the current situation, uh, alleged perpetrators of crimes in the county are often released at the detriment of the people. So it tells you that if you are a criminal, you walk away. You commit crime, you walk away because no prison to hold you. What do you think, Volcano?
Scaring, sad, but I don't know where Liberia is today, Moses. And I continue to say this. Sometimes people think that is about politics, but
Mhm.
in leadership, you have to do.
Volcano, can I step in, please, with respect to that? Because I think I can give a little more strategic structure to this conversation than for us to lament. We're not here to lament.
No, this is a critical analysis we
This,
do.
As
no,
a
no, no. This.
constructivist,
Go ahead.
I feel that we can do something. We can do something. And you ask the question and say, what are some of the things that we need to do? The first thing I told about the structure of the head and all of that, right? That's very important. So whom we elect as president is very important. I told you what Tobo was. He carried us all the way up. People sit and talk with the queen and do this and do that. He had the class and the knowledge to do those things. The people that he had working with him, representing the country, like the foreign minister. If you saw Sasa Dennis coming down, disembarking the plane, you knew that was a foreign minister coming.
Okay.
You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Those are things that were supposed to do. Knowledgeable people stood up and did things that help to make the country good. Contributing. We shouldn't be selfish. Okay, you asked me a question. I'm spending thousands of dollars to Maryland, to Monserrato, and all of that to promote peace and reconciliation. So you would think that the people in power see me doing peace and reconciliation and struggling to get $5 and $10 from Moses Sandy, and I still haven't gotten any from Volcano yet, for when I get it, to do it, and they sitting down and looking at me like I'm some Santa Claus. So
Yeah.
the other thing that Liberians need to understand is that there are people in position of power who don't want peace in the country.
Okay.
That's part of the issue.
So,
It's part
Dr.
of the
Gbaba,
issue.
are you
But
implying?
Moses,
Yeah.
so where I was going, Dr. Baba, before
Yeah, go
you
ahead.
came,
Yeah, go ahead,
was
Volcano.
the missed priorities, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I have said this repeatedly during the sojourn of this podcast.
Mhm.
It is not the infrastructure you put in place, because if you put the infrastructure in place and there's no rule of law, those infrastructure are vulnerable.
Okay.
If you put those infrastructure in place and the culture is eroded. The way I respect Dr. Baba is not by your title, it's by the fact that you're an older brother and I see you in that light. And when I meet you, I cannot call you Joe, I call you Mr. Baba.
Yeah.
Today, in our world, the kids call you with the gray hair you got by your name. They find it as pleasurable.
Oh, yeah.
In our society, you can tell a little child, say, hey, that thing you did, is wrong. They got to talk back at you. So those are the things that have eroded in our culture. And we'll hope that the Dehkontee Artists Theatre will begin to do messages of making our kids understand their place in society and the adults' place in society. But unfortunately, you have some old people or older people now confess to be or profess to be older people who don't have a lick of sense and do not understand what Dr. Baba is talking about when it comes to the beautiful days of the 70s and into portion of the 80s that we, Moses and myself, were young lads.
Yes.
And unfortunately, I don't know if we're going to get back to that time. And that
Yes,
is
you can
why,
get back to it. That's why I'm saying that you
and, and,
shouldn't lament. You
and
can
yeah,
get back to it.
and for us to
But the
get
thing
back
here
to
is
it,
that you must promote the things that will build up the people, which is what I'm doing. What I'm doing is not about me. I'm not one of the, have you heard before that I say I want to be president?
No, but
Listen to this or listen to that. That's some of the issue.
yeah.
Everybody wants to be president.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be a citizen like myself to say, oh, I will work with the young people there, for us to promote peace and reconciliation. And if they saw it, that it will give some support. That's the difference between this time and the time when we used to hear about Dehkontee artists doing it.
But not
Because we
you
used to
only
get
president,
support
Dr.
from
Baba. Everybody
Mighty
want to go
Mo.
to be senator and representative. You got to feel that where the money is. Everybody, people now creating makeshift foundations and carrying old sneakers and old bicycle and distributing it and say they got a foundation and fooling the people and going around the place. But that's the truth. And again, our platform, your Dehkontee Artists Theatre,
So,
and many
so to
other
answer your question,
organizations.
we need help.
Yeah.
We need contribution from all of you, Moses, Sandy, Volcano Shelton, and all of that. And Moses, I got something to pick with you too. Because you were president of the Journalist
Association of
Association,
Liberian Journalists, yeah.
yeah, Liberian journalists. And
Yeah.
I invite Volcano, listen to this. Listen to
Volcano,
this.
that board, former
I
board
invite
chairman.
the Deputy Artist for celebrating its 40th anniversary. As a national playwright, I invite the press union of the Republic of, press
The
party
press corps.
of Liberians in the Americas. I sent a letter to Moses Sunday. He never responded. He never replied me.
So,
He never replied me.
Okay,
yeah,
we'll fix that. We'll fix
no,
that. We'll
but
fix
you
that
know,
So
through
no,
the
I'm
current
just telling
leadership.
you how
yeah,
Liberians are. That's
uh,
how
uh,
Liberians are.
uh,
That's why when I come,
Volcano,
when I talk, the things can
since it
shape.
is
But,
a
but I
public
speak
meeting,
the
let me
truth.
quickly clarify
You
something.
hear
Okay,
him? Does
okay,
he have anything to
Yeah,
say about
all
it?
right, Dr. Baba,
yeah,
let's give him to
yeah,
send you
Dr.
the
Bauer,
chance.
Yeah.
uh, uh, let me say publicly,
Mm-hmm.
people who know me, I am very, very effective when it comes to communication. I'm not trying to, blow my own horn here, but I do respond when I receive.
Yeah, but did you receive
And
it?
that's what I'm saying. I say
Mm-hmm.
I do. So if you didn't hear from me, honestly speaking, I cannot remember
Well, no, it's all
receiving.
right. It's all right.
Yeah, no,
I
no,
just
no,
wanted to say
no,
because
no, no.
I follow
Yeah,
up with
yeah,
telephone
yeah,
call,
yeah.
and
But,
you stop receiving my calls.
Dr.
And
Wawa, so
I had
Okay,
to report it
all
okay,
right.
to
Then,
so
Alexander,
so
or what
so
they
let,
call
Dr.
it, Dr.
So,
Alexander, somebody.
so Dr. Gbagba, I think on the charges against me are too many, and I really need to clarify because this is a public media. I did not receive a written communication, from you, or,
Okay, all right, it's
saying
fine.
that hey, Aja is invited to this event. I cannot remember.
It's fine. It's okay.
And also, I cannot remember you and I having a telephone conversation about this. Talk to other colleagues in the media, talk to other people out there that know Moses Sandy. I'm very effective when it comes to communication. I'm a
thank you,
communication
Moses.
person.
It's
All
all
right,
right, Moses.
Uh,
that's
When you
good
say
and
you
enough.
I
didn't receive it, then
apologize.
you
And
didn't
I
All right,
receive it.
apologize. I
let me
apologize for
let
what
me
happened,
quickly
but I can't remember.
get
Yeah.
the number to call. I will post that quickly. But let's
Yeah.
bring Meshach rather back in the
Yeah.
conversation here. Meshach, from your perspective
Yeah.
as a young upcoming uh artist, uh tell me, what is it burning right now in Maryland County? What is the burning issue that you guys could create some plays around that will throw light in terms of changing the situation out there in your county? Because I know Maryland, I know Harper. I was there back in 1983 as a young man, very young. I believe I was a, a young lad, put it that way. Beautiful place, and I don't know how much of the impact of the war on that beautiful city that I went to. I thought I was in Europe back then. So imagine what it is now. So, what are some of the things that is common in the society that you guys could create arts around that would change the scope of what's happening?
Uh, One is land dispute.
Wow.
Land dispute. Land dispute is a serious problem here in Maryland. The next thing has to do with violence. I
Hmm.
mean, young people hears about something, they don't really control their temper or their anger. They just go and do what their mind tell them to do, and so they comes and they destroy carry on destruction because they were downhearted and government could not give attention to them. So I think there's a serious need that young people be, educated. I know sometimes it's hard if those things happen, but as a young person, you must be able to control your anger. As a young person, you must be able to approach those things different way, but not to carry on destruction. And the
Okay.
aspect of land dispute has been a serious problem here in Maryland County. It's something it's based upon that when we were officially launching Dehkontee Artists Theatre Incorporated in 2019, we had a drama that we named Banudedo, Let Us Be One, and that was strictly about land dispute between two towns. And, and DATI came in to intervene so that that dispute would have been settled. So these are things that we think we can venture into, and there'll be a lot of great changes around here.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, so
Very
volcano.
important. President Moses, you're
Okay,
coming.
yeah,
The
go ahead.
number
Yeah,
the,
go
the
ahead.
number to call now is 404-272-2808. The lines are open. You can call in to engage Dr. Gbaba Meshach here from the Dehkontee Artists Theatre and the Kukai Tonon Project, Peace Project, and it's about peace and reconciliation through the performing arts. Moses?
Yeah. So, Mr. Elliott, you listen to us when we talk about the training issues and we talk about the situation in Maryland County, uh, the lack of prison facilities, which is really hindering, law enforcement in the county. Are you guys thinking about doing some form of a drama that will really, convey the negative implications of not having prisons in the county?
Is
You're
it
right.
true being there firsthand
Yeah,
that this story is a
it's
fact?
true. Yeah, can you speak to that? Is it that
That's
you
a
guys
fact.
don't have prisons?
Of course, we don't have prison right now
Okay, okay.
in the county. Yeah,
And
we don't
and
have
and
prison.
and so maybe this is something that the
And
theater
I think
and Dr.
Moses,
Gbagba, you
just
can
to
speak
answer
to
your
that, right?
question,
Yes.
the prison got burnt the last time when Modisha
Hmm.
Yama was murdered.
Okay.
The people protested. The mothers marched from Plebo to Harper. They protested. They didn't listen to them. They got angry. They burned the prison compound. They burned the speakers' residence and all
Okay.
of that during that time. So they had to take the students and other people that they arrested. They had to send them to the correctional palace in Swedru.
Okay.
And during that time, Misha, you want to tell them what the DATI your chapter did, with respect to that, with Madisha, Yema, and
Yeah,
the people at the prison.
Okay.
yeah. So what we did, the first thing we did was to identify with the bereaved family of Modisha Nyema. We went to them and we put ourselves in their shoe. We talked to them. We appealed to them. We told them sorry for what had happened, and we gave them, some money so that they could use that money and settle some things. And then some of our colleagues, some young people were taken from the county, taken to Zweju prison. About 30 plus persons, about 34 persons were taken to Zweju prison. And we had a delegation, about 4 persons left from here, from Maryland. We went to Zweju to
Okay.
identify with them because we felt they are young people and some of them they were about to graduate, some of them were university students, and some of them were business persons. And so we went to them and we were able to talk to them. We told them that what happened, we were not happy about it, about a young person dying, and government could not immediately come into the situation that led to destruction. But yet and still, we could handle it another way. So we talked to them and we presented some items to them and we gave them words of encouragement. Trust me, when
Okay.
we came back, when they were released from prison, we received a lot of calls and appreciating us that we were able to identify with them in that time. So that's the role that we play during the death of motivation Nima. And we continue to
Okay.
talk to young people about violence around here.
The number to call is 404-272-2808. You folks were asking for the number. It's posted now. Call the issues room and have a conversation with Dr. Gbaba and Meshach. Dr. Gbaba, here's my question I wanted to pose to you. I'm a graduate of the Kennedy High School at the National Culture Center, a proud graduate, a good high school, great high school, put us some very good
Students.
people within society. The Nima Burr, Cecil Gator, myself, Charles Donate, and there was a lot of guys, Carson Copier from ELBC. All of us were graduates of Kennedy High School. And honestly, the year that I was gathering myself to go back to Liberia and paid a visit to my alma mater, that was the year former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf sold the entire National Culture Center to an American billionaire to build a resort. I was hurt, I was bitter,
Mm.
and today there is no good news about the National Culture Center. The relocation, where those folks are, where the National Culture Troop is, all of the people that I went to school with, I went back to Liberia. Everyone is in different places. How do you make up of that, Dr. Baba? With you being around for 48 years, dealing with this, the theater, the art, and all of that, and a president comes out of I don't know if it had to do with money, but sells the culture heritage of the entire country. And that center, to give credit, it was built by President Talbot. Like you said, he was one of the people who really believed in arts. And the National Culture Troop those days, during his tenure, was the it. And they traveled the world. Today, the National Culture Troop is nothing since those years. Talk to me, Dr. Baba, or talk to the issues room.
Well, to address this issue, I have to do a little bit of Pan Africanism.
Thank you.
Pan Africanism is the philosophy that we want for Africa to be for Africans. It's the philosophy that we must compete with other races and peoples and prove our superiority and our ingenuity through our work and all of that. It's also a philosophy that buttresses our source of inspiration and motivation, and that is intertwined with our culture, our Black history and culture. And again, it depends on the leader of the country and the leader's ability to withstand the pressures that come from the neo-colonial imperialistic forces that bombard the African, leaders and stooges of the West. So from that perspective, you will see that the president at the time, Mrs. Sirleaf, portrayed herself as an auntie or Tom. You're not Uncle Tom, but auntie. A-U-N-T-Y. Auntie
Let me just tell
Tom.
this caller to hold quick. Gerald Cummings, please hold. Dr. Baba is making this point. We'll come to you. Continue, Doc.
I said Auntie Tom. Why do I say Auntie Tom? If you know your heritage, if you are the leader of your people, and being leader of the people means that you must hold that baton to protect your history and your culture, you will never sell a national shrine to replace it with a brothel.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that's a curse.
Okay.
I want you people to understand that there's a spiritual aspect to becoming, to being a citizen of a country. to be a member of any organization. There's a spiritual aspect to it. Our connectivity with the spirits of our forefathers have been abused. They've been abused. Those Kennedy, as you said, you see why you're so calm, you're so intelligent, and you got little manners. That's because of the culture you saw
No,
there.
man, I got plenty of manners, man. What you say, little manners? I got,
No,
I
let me
got a
just,
whole lot of
you know,
manners.
No, not that.
I'm speaking now from opera. Now you got little
Yeah.
manners.
Yeah, I know.
You got little manners. Yeah, you got little manners. I'm gonna speak a little bit of that little Congo now.
Yeah, thank you, Dad.
Yeah.
Let me bring
You
the
see,
caller in.
Yeah.
what that did was that, you know, it's sad, because if anybody does something like that, that's betrayal. That's betrayal. But in Liberia these days, betrayal doesn't mean anything. Treason doesn't mean anything. They did nothing. It is now you are talking about. That insurrection was treasonous. Treason is punishable either by death or lifetime imprisonment. That's why the people fighting hard, they don't want a war crime code in Liberia. That treason, high treason.
Yeah.
You turn the country over and you spoil everything in the place. And guess what the Westerners did? In their resolution, quote unquote, of the Liberian crisis, you take the perpetrator and give him power and access to national coffers. Then you pretend and say you got some kind of watchdog, something here, and the person this and the corrupt, and they're not coming to America and they're not doing this and that. Those are all games. Those are all games.
Let me bring the caller in.
This is what your culture will do for you, make you to be aware of those things when they come.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Let me bring the caller in. Gerald
Excellent.
Cummings, it's good to have you from Rabbi TV, or Ramai TV. Let me put it right. Welcome to the Issues Room, Gerald.
Thank you, sir, Mr. Shelton. Thank you very much. And to your guest, Dr. Gbaba. Man, I wanted to speak one heavy crew to you, but
Oh, you might put that bit, man. Not grab here one.
no, Bobby, no.
Do you speak?
Now we're all clan. Now we're all clan. Now wanna win. Now we're all clan. Now we're all clan.
Yeah, man.
You see, I listened to you, and then my mind went back as far as an interview with the late Sheikh Kafoma Konen and the late Emmanuel Jonathan Booyah. And after the interview, I said to Sheikh Kafoma Konen, peace be to her ashes, and Dr. Booyah, Reverend Booyah, I said, if you people don't leave a book with us, you'll be shaking in your grave. I said, you got to leave a book. Something got to be in the archive, because the history in your stomach or in your brains, you got to leave it here with us. You know, when they sold the Kennedy, you know, Madam Salih did something terrible. She fired the director for culture and tourism, only because this guy stood his ground. So they fire him. They play all kind of taki with the whole thing. Today, where is the Kennedy?
Zero.
But Gerald, just before you continue, 350 miles of territorial ocean waters of Liberia. There is nowhere on the ocean that they could go build a resort. We got untapped beaches in Liberia, never been touched.
Yeah, let me tell you now. This is what the anti-Tom thing comes in.
But let Gerald go ahead.
Hold on, Doc.
Yeah, let Gerald go ahead.
Yeah, hold on, Doc. Go ahead.
This is where I got so angry with our traditional leaders in the country. Our traditional leaders. You see, when you have people who don't understand that they have power, right? Our traditional leaders who understood the cultural heritage of our country, they sat there, Madam Salih so Kennedy. None of them said a word. But you know that these were the same people who went to the executive mansion to name Madame Sally Zoe. But the same people who went there to name her Zoe, the only person who rejected them was the late Judith Bryan. Because our traditional leaders, knowing fully well the importance of Kennedy, that's why today, Big Brother Gbaba, that's why today people cannot even remember Morris Dolly. They can't even remember Tikman Nimle. Go to Liberia. 99% of the radio stations, Caesar Gato, 99% of the radio stations do not portray anything that has to do with our heritage, our culture. Nothing. How would these people learn? That's why a man like me who grew up in Monserrato can still speak Kru and Gbaba as though I live in Maryland or been to Grand Kru, because our people taught us.
Oh, yes.
They told us about our heritage and our culture. So most of the guys you see coming today, look at our legislators. Kennedy was on sale. Which one of them talk? Nobody opened their mouth to say anything. When we were talking, our jobs were on the line because somebody wanted to protect their fraternity brother or something. So it's a very important point that the Bible strike. And the question from you, Volcano, very important. These are things people don't talk about. That's why today we got no good recreation places in our country. People used to go to Kedija. Used to leave as far as the borough of Nikuta to go to Kedija.
I mean, you're telling me I was in a band. I played we were in, man, listen, I don't know, but it's sad. Gerald, thanks for coming in. Listen, yes, you are welcome to the issues room. One of these days we'll reach out to you to come here and let's keep conversation around some of these things. It's very important, and we hope you are invited to Rama TV as well.
Thank you, and please do me one favor. I need Sis Comfort with number. My mom been. I'll get my phone. She won't comfort with number. She won't comfort with number.
All right, we'll see how we can find it. But thank you so much for coming through. Dr. Gbaba, back to you, sir.
Yeah, okay, fine. So I was talking about Pan-Africanism, and I told you what the background is and what gives us the strength and the impetus to do the things that we do. The thing that gave me the strength, that gave Joe Gbaba the strength to deal with Liberians from all walks of life for 48 years, to continuously promote the history and culture of Liberia, even when the minister doesn't even do anything that I, as a citizen, am doing. That's because of my root with my ancestors. That's because of my root with my ancestors. And everywhere I go, I carry it with me. My ancestors are with me everywhere I go. When I was doing my doctorate, the other people in education, other people were doing things that other people, they're doing their Western type thing, choosing subject matters that were not related to where they came from. When I want to go to my doctorate, they say, what's the title of your dissertation? I said, Chiande. They say, what did you say, Chiande?
So what are you talking about?
I gotta read it because I'm working on mine.
I said, Chiande. So in the first place, I chose a topic or subject matter that defeated the professors intellectually.
You're right.
And they didn't know. I said, do you know what Chiande means?
They said, go ahead and do it.
I said, I can speak your language, but you cannot speak my language.
Chiande.
You see what I'm talking about? So I said, Chiande. And Chiande means to learn something. That's a quiet expression.
Okay.
Chiande means to learn something. So I was doing my dissertation on teaching and learning, the theories and all of that. So what has happened to Liberia and continues to happen to Liberia is the brainwashing of the citizens of the people, the citizens of the country. And there are several foundations of society that the neocolonialists and the exploiters use to mess a nation up. One, education. The educational system that is established in Liberia is one of the foundations of the corruption, the lack of knowledge, self-knowledge, lack of wisdom, and all of that, because the curriculum teaches. It provides the basic knowledge that the citizens need to know about themselves so they can love their country and protect their country.
And I will hold you on that and say to you, we have a series and we're going to come back to education as part of our conversation. We're bringing you in as a contributor to the conversation. So let's
That's
hold
true.
on to that. But I know Moses will come in, but this is one question that I want to ask you. What do you think about taking away the Bureau of Culture and Tourism from the Ministry of Information? Because what we see here, a Minister of Information, Culture Affairs, and Tourism, is only the government spokesman and runs the government propaganda. The whole part of tourism, hotel and tourism, the whole part of culture is left out now in this generation and time. Do you think that it would be necessary now to take that component, hotel, tourism, and culture, away from the Ministry of Information and let it be there to publicize the government propaganda alone and let somebody else with the background, okay, the educational competencies and background handle this other segment? Would that make a difference, Dr.
It,
Baba?
it definitely will make a difference. Or in other countries, they will combine the Ministry of Education and Culture together, and then in that way, when you're doing the curriculum, you put in the culture into it, you intersperse in it, and then you give it out, to the people like that. So they come hand in hand, education and culture, because culture is also education, because
Yeah.
the way how the vibe man addresses, or the way how he walks, the sound of his language, is different from the child who's born in Grand Cru. The sound, the crew sound, or the behavior and attitudes and all of that, they are all learned, and modeled, as people come up. You see, so the history and culture of the country and the educational system, the curriculum is very important. That's something that I can assist the Republic of Liberia with, because my doctoral dissertation is in the creation of curriculum and textbook production. Those two things are important. The curriculum drives the instruction. It tells you what you need to tell the children to know about Liberia. But our Liberian system, from the time we were coming up, was teaching us about New York and Washington, D.C. You see, and talking about winter and spring and autumn. You see, so the education, so quote unquote, those people who came from grades 1 to 12 and got there from college in Liberia, empty heads. They know nothing. They can't even speak their own language.
Wow.
They can't. Most of the people, young people, you ask them, you speak a local language, so they say, I can't understand that thing. Oh. That's a curse. That's what the educational system has done. The other thing that the curriculum can do for the citizens is that you build up the curriculum so that it gets civic education, so they are aware of their rights and privileges, because that young man just talked about it. The chiefs, the traditional chiefs who are so powerful, don't know they are powerful. They love to keep it that way. The Uncle Toms and the Auntie Toms love to keep the citizens ignorant about themselves. That is why it is so difficult for you to get out of the path that you're in. Where in the world, especially in other countries like Nigeria, where you can't do it, that where in the world, especially also in the Western world, that you will go to intervene in a peace crisis, and the people that killed thousands of people, you take them, you say they are eligible to run. That's why I hope, what his name, President Carter. I said President Carter think everybody's stupid. From Georgia, from the Georgia slave plantation, for him to permit Charles Taylor to go and run.
Okay.
Yeah, the insurrector, the people that did the insurrection, yeah, they're grabbing them one by one because they don't permit that in their country. They don't permit war criminals to hold positions in Europe. You know that World War II, people, the Nazis, I think they stay hunting that some of them they catch them at 99 or they stay put them in jail to
Okay.
prove a point. Consequences.
So, Dr. Bagwell,
Mhm.
let's come back to the theater.
Yes.
You've been around, you said, for more than 45 years.
48 years, not
Yeah,
45.
okay, 48 years.
Mhm.
Let's look at your accomplishments over the years and the challenges now. What are the challenges of today, and what have you been able to do successfully over the years?
What I've been able to do successfully over the years,
Yeah,
one, I've been able to train and prepare myself.
I'm talking about the organization, not you as an
The
individual.
organization, you're talking about, I'm the founder of the organization. I got to be prepared for it to be the way it's supposed to be. So I got
Okay,
to tell you that part so you understand. Because what happened was that I got my calling while I was in high school.
okay,
I went to LU and I did English and French. The government of Liberia gave me scholarship to go to acting school. I went to theater school, real acting school, directing acting with people from Hollywood and Broadway. And I got my MFA in theater. And all of that. So it's a real high level type of thing that I can produce productions that you can take on Broadway.
okay,
The problem here is people are jealous. They're jealous. Because if you and you, Sandy, and you, Volcano, and Meshach, and all of you, they come together and say, Dr. Baba, we want you to put up a production at Broadway, man. How much it will cost? I say, well, it will cost us. I just need the logistics.
uh-huh.
That's all I need. I'm a technician in that area. I needed logistics. When we had a war in the country, I worked as a consultant with UNICEF as a cultural consultant because I was telling them the things that they needed to know about the culture so we could resolve this thing here.
Okay,
But they came there and they played all the Diriba and they turned the culture of the country upside down. That's why it's like that today.
okay,
So one of the things that we can do, that's number one. Two, I continue irrespective of the resistance. And that resistance is coming up because of the ill preparedness of the citizens of Liberia. You got 90% of the people illiterate. So that's a high illiteracy rate, and that got worse this time around with all the shooting and killing and the mayhem and the genocide in the country. They kept the people away from education. So today, anybody who is, like you said, 32, anybody who is 32 years old was a baby when they started all that shooting and killing all of that. Today, so if they were a baby, they didn't even go to school to even learn the ABC right. Or say somebody who was in the third grade 32 years ago, you know, is 32 now, with third grade education. So the mentality is an issue. The other thing here is that we can do to assist, hopefully, is that if we get the logistical support, as we're trying to do with the Peace Theater thing,
yeah,
I prepare some radio drama series.
uh-huh.
Now I need funding to train, the actors and actresses, and also to pay for the airtime so that we can begin to directly entertain and educate the citizens of Liberia in Liberia. That's what we're trying to do. Again, another gentleman came up quite recently, Dr. John Wulu, said that, oh well, I want to sponsor your radio drama series in memory of my late wife. Those kinds of things. That's how you promote the arts. I'm there to produce, but I can't be there again looking for money all over the place. To produce something that's not for me, but for you, for all of you. And you say now you expect me to do it, where the money will come from. So the issue here is the finances. because we have plans to establish a chapter in each county in Liberia.
Okay.
And each chapter will promote peace and reconciliation based on the history and culture of that setting. And we plan to also have a national tour, to go from county to county promoting peace and reconciliation and holding adult literacy classes for people. Or those are things that we can do within the organization. So as I was saying, the training is there. So we can provide, teacher training, as an educator, I can do that. We can provide a special program, because majority of the young people, 38, 35, they just third grade, second grade people and all of that. So you got to do a literacy campaign, a literacy campaign where they can have the opportunity, they work during the day, in the night they go to classes and learn and improve their skills. And then, of course, the establishment of vocational and technical schools as well. But that curriculum there has to be properly structured so that it can be culturally relevant. That's the term, that's the expression that we use. When the education is not culturally relevant to the needs of the citizens, they don't care. The people stealing and all of that, they think it's pleasurable. But that's against our culture. But it was not taught. When we were coming up, it was taught, thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not lie. All those things that we learned them. So we decided to keep them. But do they keep them these days? The young people and the people in power and all that, do they do those things? No, they don't, because the value system has eroded, because you don't have a good educational system in place, the curriculum and all of that in place to do it. You see? But the politicians like it to be like that. You see, because then the people are unable to defend themselves intellectually. And because they cannot defend themselves and express themselves the way they should, they're not informed about the rights that they have. That, if Shelton represents my district and he doesn't represent me or doesn't do what he promised to do, I don't have to vote for him tomorrow, and I will stick to it. They don't know that. You see, so the programs that we're trying to do to reach out to the people, gather resistance from people that ledger who running them and all of that, who don't want us to bring the message across to the people. Because somebody like him would have said, oh, well, that since I was with Dehkontee, all that kind of thing, please work with my radio people or do this and that, or television people, the people, the children in Kepamos, the doing so thing, you go and cover them. They do this and that. I begged, sent letters to Eugene Nagbe when he was there, he didn't respond. Sent it to Ledger, who they didn't respond. Nothing. And these are my own children. You see?
Thank you, Dr. Gbaba.
That's the issue that I'm saying now. So tonight, I hope that my appeal to all Liberians is that it's not about me, but I can help to improve the situation. But to improve that situation, people who are sitting in these powerful positions and all of that, they got to open up.
That's true.
I give you an example. I'm sorry, you're a prominent person, Liberian citizen, then from Grand Nigeria, right?
I think that you are indeed a prominent person. You are a prominent person. I say you are indeed a prominent person.
That's what I'm saying. But the senators, the representative of Grand Nigeria cannot even pick up phone to call. When you call them, they got nothing to say.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. So it's not only about other people, but just check that out. So those are the issues. I train all these children. You hear the way the young man is speaking.
Yeah.
I'm not putting words in him. When he spoke, you heard him, because they received training. I gave them training, virtual training for 2.5 months on peace, education, cultural heritage, this, that, blah, blah, blah. They're ready to go out there to promote peace and reconciliation in the villages and towns. I put up an announcement. I said, well, we need at least 2 buses. At least if we can start with 2 buses. One for the southeastern region, other one for the other side of the country. So these children can travel there during the dry season to promote peace and reconciliation.
Yeah.
Only one individual came out one time, or what's his name, Herbie Macaulay. He came out. He said, Rabbi, I like what you're doing. I will be your chief. I would like to be your chief sponsor and all of that. He did his very best. What he was doing his very best because he's going to be CDC man or something like that. All of that. All the yabba. Till the young man just decided to say, well, let me just fold my hand and sit down. You see. So
Dr.
these
Gbaba,
are the issues.
quickly, as we wrap up, tell us what is the total membership now of the Dehkontee Artists Theatre across Liberia and the diaspora?
Oh, it will be over 400, 500 actually, because there are people. They always be working in Martin. What they call it, Martin, the anti-corruption man, this and that. Dehkontee artist person, or James Edward Howard, or what they say, Justice, one of the justices, that Dehkontee person.
Okay.
Claude Langley, all these people, different people. You see what I'm talking about?
And
So
how are
I
they
think
involved? How are they involved with the
they're
organization?
not involved. That's what I'm saying. They are not involved because you see, because when you support something like that in school, now that they are responsible people, you would think that they would be the ones to step. The Minister of Lands and Mark Gessler Boré, that
Yeah.
Dehkontee artist person.
And
If
so
they
all
are
these people
participating-
turn their back on you.
Pardon me?
I said all these people turn their back on the theater.
Yeah, no, they're turning their back on Liberia.
Okay.
Yeah, not me.
Yeah, you're right. So
I will
Dr.
not live
Gbaba, Dr.
forever.
Gbaba, just something important I wanted to put out here. And I thought on this before Gerald Cummings came in and talked about Sheikh Kafumba Konen and that of Reverend Emmanuel Buya. Those were walking encyclopedias of Liberian history. And you seem to come across as one of those people. We're all aging up here now in our lives. How can you be utilized at this stage in your life to put up some kind of uh documentation, whether a book or something, on the performing arts of Liberia? Because that much is
It's
spoken
known.
of when it comes to this, and not much in the history that we can turn to. It's unfortunate for our country. We have a lot of educated people, but we're not leaving anything behind. And we don't want to lose out on this opportunity with you, Doc. The Liberian people need something from you that will make the difference for the generation yet to come. You wrote a dissertation. You can still write something in that line.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. You know, there are a lot of things that I've written actually. Now it's just a matter of time of revising them and then, you know, sending them for publications and all of that. Some of them are really, really very deep, you know, because, you know, I sat down with presidents, you know, with a lot of leaders in the country, elders were my good friends and all of that. You remember Cousin Mosquito?
And we can't miss out. We can't miss out on those kinds of
Congresswoman Marlena Jackson Parker.
Yeah.
All those people, they were my old people, them, Bati Moore, and all of that. So we had a lot of discussions and all of that.
We can't miss out, Doc. You got to do
There's
something
something that
about
I'm
it.
going to be writing about the war and the, you know, the strings that are, you know, attached to this thing at the situation, because you see, Liberia is destined to be destroyed if the last few seconds we have, if we don't utilize them to put our act together. The thing is so that bluffing to wear red beret and all of that. The thing I say, that's not how you save a state. You save a state by, first of all, respecting the history and culture of the country. You save a state by making sure that the educational system is culturally relevant. You save the state by making sure that its citizens understand that they are one people, and that you encourage the inclusiveness of the people and all of that.
So
Thank you. Let's
Dr.
get
Gbaba,
final word, Moses.
Also making
Yeah.
sure that
Moses?
qualified people
Let's get
hold
final words
key
now.
positions.
I
Because the young
Volcano,
man, Meshach needs to go. I mean, it's probably 1 o'clock now in the morning over there. So
Mhm.
let's just take final word from Meshach, and then we can keep Dr. Baba for at least another 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay,
Yeah, Meshach.
Mr. Elliott, go ahead. Hmm. He's frozen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Just final word for
yeah.
us and the
Okay, let me
Liberian
use
people
this chance
regarding the
to
Dehkontee
first say
Artists Theatre.
thank you to you
Mhm.
for this show. Okay, so let me first say a big thank you to you for hosting us here. I appreciate you for that. I also appreciate those who been following us. Thank you for following. We just want to say Dehkontee Artists Theatre Incorporated depends on every Liberian to contribute so that our culture will be restored and that the peace of this country will be maintained to the fullest. Support us and we will do our best. The the Rabba Gbaba Peace and Cultural Festival that will be held in April will be the first of its kind here in Maryland. We hope and pray that it will be a success, and we want prominent Liberians across the world to help contribute towards this financially. Thank you so much once more. Thank you. May God bless you.
Thank you, Meshach.
Thank you
Thank
too,
you
Mr.
Thank you.
Elliott.
eloquently speaking tonight. Go get some sleep, my brother. I know all the way out there in Maryland. It's
Excellent.
very late. And be careful
Yeah.
before the boy. I
No,
hope you home.
I think that man's at home.
Okay. Uh, I hope you're home, buddy. Thank you so much for coming through. Dr. Baba, people are asking you here about a website for Dehkontee Artists Theatre. Do you have a website?
Yes, we do. We have a website. And I don't know, the document that I sent you was in there, you know, at the end, how to donate, how to contribute, and all of that,
Okay.
it's there at the end. We have a website, uh, and it's just Decorative Artist Theater Inc.com. So it's the whole thing spelled out, .com. Also, people can donate through checks and money orders to our post office box, which is PO Box 143, Clifton Heights, PA. The other one is our checking and saving account, Wells Fargo's checking and savings account. I'm so sorry that you were not able to coordinate that, but it was in the document that I sent. And also Cash App, through my phone number, 267-973-1709. That's another way to do it. We're really appealing to all Liberians, all of you, Moses, including you. We're appealing to all of you to support this thing. And those of you who are in the press union, I'm appealing to you to speak to the Minister of Culture and Tourism and Information to know that the culture of our country is important. And I need all the support from them because I'm coming to Liberia to help to promote peace and reconciliation. And I don't want for anybody to stand up and watch. I want for everybody to participate. When we put a song on, we want for everybody to dance to the song. When we put it up a play, we want for people to listen attentively to what we are saying. So it's kind of very costly. Right now, it's costly because we haven't gotten the support that we need to go on. But these are some things that we need. We have our headquarters, on Dupo Road that we're trying to renovate. We need a couple of thousands of dollars, five, six, $7,000 to renovate the place so that it can be used as a peace and cultural center. Most of those things that they did at the cultural center, we can do them there. We can put up productions and all of that. People can come there. Families and children, school children can come there to learn about the culture and history of Liberia. And hopefully sometime, during the course of the year, I will be there teaching some courses and all of that, you know. And eventually, in 2 years' time, we'll be celebrating my 50th anniversary And at that time, we want to construct the School of the Performing Arts. So we need your support. You were asking what
Just
you want,
imagine
can you
50
do?
years later,
Mm-hmm.
50
Yeah.
years later, half of a
As
Yeah,
an
century, we don't
as an
even have a school of
organization.
performing
yeah,
arts. Can you
Yeah.
imagine that? But
yeah.
people can steal the country's money brazenly with no regard,
Mm-hmm.
take from the coffers and build houses right in front of the people,
Mm-hmm.
high
Atlanta
fences,
homes.
Yeah,
generators.
because of the lack of the cultural
It's
knowledge.
sad.
You
It's
see, it's
sad.
the
We don't
educational,
have
the
anything in
education,
Liberia,
the
nothing
educational
whatsoever.
system. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing whatsoever. Everybody thinks it's about politics. Do you know how much other things that can be a breadwinner in Liberia? Do you know how
But
many young people into acting? How many young people into music? How many young people can perform the arts?
Yep. And I can train them, do a production, bring it here on tour.
And
You know,
when
in the
we were in
United
high school,
States.
Doc, when we were in high school, you know what we call our playlet? We used to do the playlet.
Right.
Moses, you ever did the playlet? You play a little.
nah,
Come on, man.
nah,
Moses, where you
man.
went to school?
But me, I
You
went to
can't tell me that you went
BAE.
to school in Liberia, you
My,
do playlet.
You meant
my,
a technical man,
I went
technical
to
vocational
technical
man.
school.
He
Yeah,
was
Yeah,
doing
BAE.
you
plumbing.
know, in BWI, okay. But BWI should still have had the performing arts. I mean, quite frankly.
My
But
man
yeah, we
went.
used to do playlet,
Okay.
playing different
Mhm.
roles, the king, and those players would be practiced during the course of time, and then we, you
Yeah.
know, come on in the auditorium and perform. And
Yeah.
that's how some of us started feeling we're getting into acting and stuff.
I think
And
yeah.
then
Right.
I spoke with a brother yesterday. I don't know if you know the name Willie Booyer. Willie
Yeah, I
Booyer
know
is
Willie. Yeah, from
so Willie right
Arjo.
now,
Yeah.
and Willie, I prayed with Willie on Sunday. Willie is in a facility. He had a liver transplant,
Oh
and he's
wow,
been
that's good.
recuperating, but it's been a long battle for the last
Okay.
3 years. He's
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
somewhere in the Maryland area, and we talked for a while. He watches the issues room from his bedside,
Okay.
and that conversation uh, took us back to when we started this movie industry after just right after the war. Al Jerome, Mark James, if you remember Mike James from Lena,
Yeah.
Willie, we were the actors and they were the writers and directors, and we started off. Three of the movies we made, two were played at the Rivoli Cinema, The Power Hunter,
Wow.
and uh, the other one just didn't come to me. But Al Jerome rather, and myself were the two lead characters in that movie. Uh, and it's so at the Rivoli.
Okay.
But
Wow.
we started getting involved
Mm-hmm.
long before what you call the Bollywood, the Nollywood, and all these woods. We were doing little things behind the scene, even
Mm-hmm.
before the war. If you remember, those guys who were acting, what they call the ERTV, uh, started doing some local Liberian acting and were playing on ERTV, including the Malawala Balawala series.
Yes,
But we were
yes,
also doing Three is a Crowd was one of
yes,
the movie, if you
yes,
can remember.
yes.
But those things were around and we paid
Through
attention to
artists and
those
all of
things.
that.
Today, I don't know what's happening in Liberia. I don't. And so, Dr. Baba, it was good having you here tonight. It was very wonderful. We have to wrap up now. But I tell
But
you, we can turn things around and we'll bring you back here to hold this conversation because we want people to be a part of this
Peace
anniversary
process.
that's coming up and the
Mm-hmm.
program planned for April. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully we'll come back and spread the word. But it was really good having you. A lot of history here. We can talk all night, and you can talk too. So we want you to come back.
Volcano, quickly, just before Dr. Bagua leaves, I wanted to know the status of the fundraiser. Dehkontee is a non-profit. Just in one or two words, can you tell us where you are on that fundraising?
Yeah, with the fundraising, some because of the COVID, a lot of the funds I think that they provide here in the States,
Mm-hmm.
were kind of a cut down, a little bit. That's number one. Then number two, the funds that they provide here I can only do things here in Liberia. I mean, in the United States. For if, like for instance, if I got a funding for Philadelphia, I will do it for Dehkontee Artists Theatre in the USA to do programs here for the people in the United States. So to do things in Liberia as I'm doing, the only thing that I've been doing is to appeal to my acquaintances, my supporters, and all of that, and they have been donating $50, $100, this and that, for us to reach the stage that we've reached. Where we are right now, we have two offices, one on Tupo Road and one in Kepamas. But these offices have not been formally opened because we need funds to renovate them. All the buildings, I think, in Liberia, as you know, from the war, I think, were destroyed. So if you got a place and all of that, you got to fix it first before you can do it. But so we need help with the center on Tupo Road, because there it would be something like Kenneja if we in a big fence and all of that. So in the fence, so it will be www.Dehkontee Artists Theatre, .com. Dehkontee Artists Theatre Inc.com.
Okay, so ink. All right. So I didn't put the ink. Okay.
Yeah.
So again, the website is Dehkontee Artists Theatre Inc. inc.com.
Yes.
Dr. Gbaba, it was good having you. We're going to play this song, Coming Home, by our man, the late Dehkontee Roberts.
You were one of those I used to watch at Gabriel Cinema. We used to have afternoon shows, musicals, and all of that.
Okay.
It was so fantastic.
And we want to say to Facebook, we have no copyright to this song, but the brother here is from the soil, and it's befitting to play this song because it reminds us of our country, and we're all looking forward to the day when we can go back home to contribute in meaningful ways. While it is true we're contributing here from the US, but it would even be way, way, way different if we were home. And Dr. Gbaba, we will bring you back in the issues room when we come to the topic of education. All right, sir?
All right. Thank you so much, Moses and Volcano. I want to say thank you so much.
It was a pleasure.
Beautiful, worthwhile evening. I want to also thank the people out there, for listening. I know sometimes, I can be very blunt. And the reason why I'm blunt is because I know all of you. The cultural expert in the place know all the little small secret, all the people that follow all kind of nyama.
And listen, we got little manners and we're not going to take it anyhow.
They know all the nyama. So because we got to be straightforward. We got to make sure that things work well and all of that. So please keep me in your prayers. In 2 years' time, I will be celebrating 50 years, half a century since I was called by the Lord to do this thing. Or it's not about me. It's about Liberia. It's about the love. Because my parents taught me to love my culture and all of that. So whether I got PhD or not, it means nothing if I don't cherish my culture. And I know we can all make it together. I can help the country. I'm going to try my best. Hopefully, between now and the 50th anniversary, to be on ground, to see how I can help. Everybody doesn't have to be a president. I don't want to be president, but I want to teach you something about your own country. I want to put something in your head that you can remember and live by to help the country. Liberia is bleeding.
Thank you.
It's like she's a deserted mother.
Thank you.
Something's wrong with the children. We got to pray for everybody. We got to pray for the president of the country, the vice president, everybody. We got to pray for them so that the evil spirit will leave that country alone. That's my honest prayer.
All right, Doc. Thank you so much.
Lord.
Thank you.
Hallelujah. Amen.
Thank you, Doc.
We'll bring back. We gotta go.
All right. Bye-bye now.
Thank you, Dad.
Thank you. Moses?
Yeah.
Big conversation here tonight. We learned a lot.
We did.
And for me, who a research buff, who've looked at Liberia over the years, and some of the things he was talking about when he talked about being in a room with people like the late Cesar Dennis and Mahiro Jackson Parker and President Tolbert. And President Tolbert had a way of really dog, this guy is calling, I don't know.
Who's that?
Gerald Cummings. Gerald, what is it you want again? We're about to wrap up.
We are wrapping up, Gerald.
Volcano,
Yeah,
that
you're
man
live.
is he's Denzel, Liberia's Denzel Washington. Listen to his closing statement.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
my
I
God,
screwed
we
up.
lost him.
I,
Yeah.
I screwed up. I
Mm,
mistouched something.
mhm.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying that Dr. Gbaba is Liberia's Denzel Washington. You know why?
Go ahead.
His closing statement is no for the past 22 years since I've started following Denzel Washington. It's the similarity is so close, very, very close,
Hmm.
very close.
Okay.
Everything he says is in close connection with scriptures.
Okay.
With scripture.
Okay.
I know you from that school of thought of the altar, so
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
I just wanted to add that piece in about it was a great conversation. I hope the next time I'll be around to listen to him more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank
coming
you,
in.
Gerald.
Yeah. So go
It
ahead, Moses. You
was.
were saying something.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that it was indeed a very successful show, very interesting. He provided a lot of information. He talked about his work, what they have done and continue to do. But again, I hope that people in higher places will begin to identify, people like Dr. Bagba will have profound understanding, of the cultural sector of Liberia, to begin to play critical role because our young people need someone like Dr. Baba to educate, especially, that the question you're asking about unify our people. We need people that will be, creating dramas
Hmm. Hmm.
that will tell our people that, hey, we need to come together.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, go back to the country and see how much uh, music in the sub region, especially Nigerian music, has pervaded
Oh, yeah.
our little
Hmm.
local
Hmm.
bars and stuff. Liberians
Yeah.
are doing a little bit of music,
Yeah.
but are they drawing from their culture? No.
No, they're
The
not
music style
competitive.
now is copied after, the Ghanaians, copied after the Nigerians. They all want
Hmm.
to speak the pidgin English from Nigeria in the
Yeah.
music. And
Hmm.
so we've always been that society where we drifted away from our culture and took on to other cultures. In fact,
Hmm.
one of the history that I learned, the high life music today that you see the Ghanaians brag about, it
Yeah.
started in Liberia.
Wow.
The high life music. When I was doing music, high life started in Liberia. And I was told by a man who was born way back in the early 1900s. And he shared that information with me as a young man that high life music started in Liberia, but the Ghanaians took it and changed it and put it out there. And today, they're known to be the high life country in music. So we've missed out on a lot of things. Everything this age now is about has to do with you know politics, has to do with less values in the society. When we talked about when he said you guys have little manners, I mean
We're
it was
just
a
kidding.
joke
Yeah.
around it, but
Yeah.
it's the fact that there's no way I can have a conversation with Mr. Baba or Dr. Baba and
Yeah. And
disrespect him,
just disrespect.
irrespective of anything. And
Hmm.
that would be the same for anyone within my space.
Yeah.
But not today. Not today is and it's unfortunate. So how do we leave this country? With whom? This generation, this
No.
generation that does not know the history of Liberia, does not know its culture, does not know. I mean, it's so we are in a serious situation,
Definitely
and
we
that's
are.
why I was concerned that the
We are.
president of Dr. Baba should begin to put his literary work in in documentation form that
Hmm.
it can be utilized in the future rather than him leaving this earth with all of that information going
Yeah.
away with it.
I
and,
agree.
and time is of the essence.
I agree.
Time is of the essence. Yeah,
And
so
Volcano, everything we're talking about, yeah, like some of the challenges Dr. Bagba spoke about and our own experiences with our political system. Our worst problem in our country, Volcano, is greed.
it is. It is.
That's our worst problem.
It is.
All of our political leaders, they are mainly concerned about themselves. They're not looking back at you and I, you know. So unless we can take care of that problem, Liberia will continue to struggle.
And the struggle is on, because
Yeah.
I tell you right now,
Mhm.
thousands and thousands of the people who have come to government had nothing, and
Absolutely.
they're not willing to give it up.
No.
They're not
They're
willing
not.
to give it up.
No, man,
And
but you
that's
saw,
why Liberia is what it is.
of course.
You go in the ministry, it's all about corruption. Our brother Hassan Kewu just had his jottings from the motherland,
Yeah.
and he was able to document a lot of stuff. He said he was coming over with another series tonight. We'll take a look. But that's the situation
That's
the country
it.
is faced with.
That's it.
People,
It's about
you said it right. Greed.
Yeah,
And it's
greed.
sad.
Greed has taken over the country. Everywhere you
Everybody
turn.
wants it all.
I mean,
no one sees the future. No
like-
one is looking at the future. It's now our time, and we got to eat.
yeah. And even right, we're talking about this. With COVID, people still allow greed to drive the system. You go there, you give somebody chicken change, the person is ready to give you a report. Budget the report, endanger the safety of other people, only because you offer little thing. Do you know what it means for
But
Canada?
we'll come back with a conversation. So Friday conversation will center around some of the
Greed,
more
greed,
ills
greed.
that's been
Yes.
trending. We will come back and we'll have a good conversation around some of the things. We're not going to let the cat out of the bag, but we'll have
Yeah.
topics, and we'll go on those topics segment by segment. We'll try to bring one or two guests in studios with us. And when I use the word guest, it's not an interview, but to be a part.
Yeah,
So I would
have
say
fun and
discussants.
discuss.
You
Yeah.
know, we'll bring discussants in studio with us to have these conversations, because since we've drifted away a little bit from politics, so many things have happened.
So
The
many.
CPP is in
We need to
peril.
catch up, man.
We need to catch up. People are laying out on the airplane, stopping the plane from going. We hear that no pressing.
Don't praise it
in
in
Maryland County.
Maryland.
So many things have been happening, so we got to come back to the conversation of politics.
Too many things,
and
man.
societal
The
ills.
politics of the day we can't
And
avoid.
societal ills. So we'll be back
Yeah.
here. Moses, thank you so
Sure.
much. It was good
It
having
was
you
a
again in
pleasure.
studio.
It's always a
Uh,
pleasure teaming up with you over
Thank you
Canada.
so much.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Enjoy, man. Yeah. All right. Bye-bye.
We want to encourage you to join the Issues Room Tuesdays and Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and midnight, wherever you are, all over the world. We say thank you for coming in, Jared, Jacob, Wanimle Seyon Cummings, Uzondo Isianyi, my man Thomas Awaji, John Yamin Jr., Spencer Toll, Theo and Sampon Jr., Akina Wesley, thank you so much for coming in, my brother. It's good to have you. Kevin Teej, Pamela Thomas. You're asking about Ashford, the giant garlic? He's around. Ashford is all on Facebook. Don't you see him? Ashford is doing well. Emmanuel Tier, we say welcome. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight in the Issues Room. Rivers S. Bro, good to have you back, my brother. Poema Jimmy Negla Jr., we say thank you for showing up. It was just another important conversation. We had to hold this conversation because our culture, our heritage is important when it comes to peace and reconciliation in Liberia. Moses Kamara, good to have you in the house as well. MC Chilla, Washington Bokar, it was just good having some new people. Delaba Reed Yedu, thank you so much for showing up here in the Issues Room. Elijah Conway, and all of you wonderful people who came by here tonight. We say make the Issues Room a part of your social media platform. We are the alternative media platform. We say thank you again. We'll be back here on Friday with another conversation. My name is Volcano Shelton. Hang in there.